I remember when I was starting the whole recording of lives, firstly some videos pre-recorded, edited, all that kind of thing, then live videos. I remember the time when I was just about to start every of those steps, every of those videos. I was like, well, but do I have anything to share? What people will think about me, what people will think about my English, because I'm not an English speaker, native English speaker, what people will think about my message to them, what they will think about me, myself. And how many of you can relate with that kind of fear of being judged for any reason? How many of you allow this fear to stop you in a place, to not let you to do whatever was that your heart was feeling that it needs to do, or whatever you planned to do in your head? But yet, this fear is very powerful, and it's somehow implanted in us by our parents, by our society when we were kids. How many times you've heard, don't do this, what neighbors will tell. Don't do this, what people will say. Don't say like this because what people will think about us. Well, of course, there are things that we need to explain to kids, but they are not polite, not kind, not empathetic to say or do. But on the other hand, the whole pressuring what people will say, it's just horrible. It's just... I even don't know how to say this, but it's just like very horrible thing to do to ourselves now and to do to our kids. But mostly to do to ourselves. Every time when you try to do something positive, when you try to be someone better, even in those moments, you might have that thought, oh, what people will say. Even in deep in your heart might feel that this is a good thing, this is something good to do. Maybe a bit weird, but why? Why we straight away put the tags on it weird? Anyway, like I say, most of the time when we try to do something, when we want to do something, we are not doing it because of that fear of being judged, not because of this thing is wrong or something, but what people will say, how people will judge us because of what we do. And the thing here is to understand that all the judgment is actually about their insecurities and not our worth. It's about us triggering them. Jealousy, other emotions, but we trigger them by our actions. And because of that, we might get judged. And that's good. Really, this is good. But the question is, what will you do with this? How much power you want to give those opinions of other people? Because by letting them stop you, you give them away your power. You're giving those people power over you, over your actions, over your life. Do you want this? Really? I believe not. So, how can you practically go about this? First of all, whenever you feel judged, tweak this whole situation, and instead of taking those criticism, or instead of taking this, whatever you hear, as a criticism, treat us as a feedback, as something that might help you in future. It's not a failure, it's some lesson that it will help you in future. Aim for growth. Every single action, let's be about growing, not perfection, about just going forward, making progress. And focus on yourself. That's the third step. Focus on yourself, but in the sense, every time you want to do something, or you're doing something, but still you are uncomfortable because of people are judging you, ask yourself, who am I really doing that for? Is that for this person or for myself? So focus on those three, and as a little exercise for a week, just every time you're about to do something and you're wondering how people will judge you, stop yourself and ask different question. What is the worst case scenario that will happen? And then what is the best case scenario that will happen? Because by this, you're changing your focus from being judged to actually seeing the bad and the good in the action that you want to take. And then when you have this in front of you, just take one small action every single day and repeat that every day. You might want to journal this, how you feel about all of this. You might want